Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Outside the Wire, and this is a new action thriller from Netflix, directed by Michael Hofstrom, and starring Anthony Mackie and young actor Damson Idris, and this film is about a young man, played by Idris, who's in the military. He is a drone pilot. He makes a tough decision to sacrifice the lives of a few to save the rest of the men in this company. Then, instead of being thrown out, court-martialed, he's accepted into this secret mission with Anthony Mackie, who is a machine. He is a robot. And they go behind enemy lines outside the wire, which, not gonna lie, this film says outside the wire so many times. It's like horrible drinking game because you'd probably die from alcohol poisoning. But besides that fact, they go behind the lines and you get to see the horrible things going on, and they're trying to stop this general, this colonel, played by Pilo Aspect, aka douche pirate from Game of Thrones, Greyjoy. But so you have this all set up, and I feel like there's two kinds of expectations going into this film. You want to look at this as like a film, looking at it, all the details of the film, or you're going in for an hour and 55 minutes looking for an action thriller, and that's all you want. And I feel like if you're going in for the latter, this film delivers. There's some intense action. Hellstrom and his cinematographer shoot it decently well. There is a little bit of over-editing, but it's still satisfying action. Seeing Anthony Mackie like beat the living crap out of everyone because he's a robot and he's stronger than everyone. And not gonna lie, there's some pretty cool and inspired action moments of just like him doing like superhuman things. Including, which this film kind of parallels a bit of like the Heart of Darkness, Apocalypse Now kind of idea that you keep talking about this one person, you keep going deeper and deeper and deeper until you find this guy, played by Pilo Aspect, and how that plays out doesn't exactly go as you might expect it, and I give credit for the screenplay for shaking that up a bit. But here's the thing. So the action works. The cinematography might be a little grayed and a little dull and blunt, but in general, it's pretty exciting. It works in that way. When you dig deeper, this film has really, really strong Training Day vibes. Like, almost feels like you're watching Training Day, except take out a crooked cop and put in a robot instead, and in war instead of LA. So it really plays out that way, and that makes it less impactful when certain things happen in the story because they feel like, oh, I saw that coming. I know I did. Sitting through the film like, that's not surprising at all, and it's just like, it feels like it's supposed to be a twist, and that never really pays off. There's even little moments of mirroring like the whole trying out the drugs thing in Training Day. There's a moment like that in this film where it's like testing how far you're willing to go to listen to my orders and stuff like that. And that, it's a little stale. The story's a little stale in that way, and it's just, and that stinks because they tried to do a lot of different things with the story in terms of there's a lot of themes going on in this film. The ideas of the morality with machines, and the morality of which you take on, which is set up in that opening scene. Do you try to save every individual, or do you sacrifice to save the greater good? And that becomes a very big theme throughout the film. It's very blunt. The themes in this film are very blunt, and I feel like it because like 95% of Anthony Mackie's dialogue is either exposition or plainly explaining the themes of the film, and the screenplay kind of treats the audience like they're dumb. And that's a tricky thing too, because in, say, like Training Day, you have Denzel Washington, who has a lot of charisma, and even if he might be giving some expositional dialogue, it works. He brings personality to it. Anthony Mackie has a physicality for this role down, but he's supposed to be playing blunt. because of him being a robot, and that's their choice to play him that way. And when you're just reading off a bunch of exposition in a blunt way, then it doesn't really work. Anthony Mackie doesn't get to bring his personality to it and bring some life to it. So a lot of the dialogue just feels throwaway. And you have a lot of other ideas that are plainly said. Like, the climax of the film feels honestly a little disappointing action-wise, and then they just dump a whole bunch of explanation on you, and you're just like, okay, you didn't have to like plainly write this all out for me. And then you have other ideas, like Emily Beecham's character is leader of this resistance for the Russian people, the people in these countries that, like, Russia's trying to take them back over, the US is trying to push them back, and the collateral damage idea, which is spelled out pretty clearly throughout this film. Like I said, a lot of the themes feel really blunt. So I feel like in the end, Outside the Wire really works as an action film, and you can have some fun with it, and just accept it for what it is, in terms of that way. If you try to dig deeper, a lot of the ideas and the explanation are just played out so bluntly for you that it doesn't really hit the impact it should, and some of the surprises that go along in the film are, you can see them a mile away. So in the end, I feel like Outside the Wire works if you're hoping for just a action movie to enjoy on streaming. But if you wanted something deeper, more meaningful, and more impactful that capitalized on its themes, it doesn't quite hit there. But those are my thoughts on Outside the Wire. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.